one fight dey go, that serious fight between PDP, APC and the Court of Appeal. That is the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Calm down, I'm going to explain what happened. After they finished the judgment on Wednesday, PDP said that they go Supreme Court. Labour Party also said that they go Supreme Court. Now, they have 14 days to file the appeal to Supreme Court. Now, this is the problem. They cannot file that appeal without a certified true copy of the judgment. That book when the judge read, all those things when they read, they're supposed to put that for paper. Give PDP their own, give Labour Party their own, give APC their own. Now that paper, that certified true copy, now the lawyers will go study to determine how to take file their case to the Supreme Court. The judge, the lead judge of the petition tribunal, said that they're going to get it the next day, which is Thursday. On Thursday, they no get am. One day they'll come out because they must file their appeal within 14 days, including weekend. So weekend no day. 14 days, that is 2 weeks. One day they'll come out. On Friday, they can finally bring them. Now when they finally bring them, they first give APC, according to what PDP they talk. They first give APC. Now that document wey they give APC, on top of am, they put the watermark of the Tinubu presidential legal team on top. Now, if you dey work for corporate firm, you know say when you write letter to somebody, you use your letterhead. If you see this paper dey talk, e come be like say na Tinubu presidential legal team letterhead na dey use. ATIKU team say how Tinubu presidential legal team watermark say enter the certified true copy of the judgment that is supposed to come from the appeal court. Is either na Tinubu team na write that judgment give una, or una dey favour Tinubu team to watermark their own. Why una not first give us when we get case to go appeal, when we need am, why una first give Tinubu team? Now, how did they know? Immediately they gave it to Tinubu team. Tinubu team scan the document, send and give their guys. Their guys post them online in celebration. People saw it and they started to ask questions. Let me first of all read the news to you before I go tell on the response of Tinubu team. Watch it. Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. ATIKU demands explanation over Tinubu's legal imprints on the judgment. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 25, 2023 election, ATIKU Abubakar, and members of his team have queried the presence of the watermark of Tinubu legal team on certified true copies of the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court, currently trending on social media. In fact, the PDP candidates team is demanding explanation from the court over the unconventional development. Spokesperson for the ATIKU team, Frank Shaibu, made the demand in a statement in Abuja on Saturday. He noted that it was curious that after causing needless delay in availing the PDP presidential candidate, ATIKU Abubakar and his legal team certified true copies of its judgment, the court should explain what happened to Nigerians. He said, "It is not our intention to stir up controversy on the matter, but it is very important that the PPC should tell Nigerians why they choose to affix the header of the respondents on the CTC copy of their judgment, whereas the copies that went to other petitions did not have the same. Was that because the Tinubu legal team is deemed to be accorded special privileges? The court must explain." It is very clear that there are many questions begging for answers, including why the PPC came to the decision to avail the respondents, especially Tinubu legal team, to have a first receipt of the CTC of the judgment before the plaintiffs. The curiosity is more confounding based on the fact that the lead counsel to ATIKU and the PDP had pleaded in the open court to have express receipt of the judgment, to which Justice Haruna Samani agreed and promised to make the documents available the following day, which was Thursday. Nigerians want to know why the PPC confers special privileges to the Tinubu legal team by making them have a first custody of copies of the PPC judgment, even though it was more urgent for the petitioners who needed the document in order to cause an appeal to the Supreme Court within 40 days, including weekends. In the course of delivering its judgment, the PEPC had spoken of the petition it was ruling upon in a vexation and denigrating language, as if it was a crime to bring a case of electoral banditry before the court. However, unfolding developments after the court's ruling elicit suspicion about whether or not the TINUBU'S legal team provided clerical services to the PEPC. Otherwise, how and when did the TINUBU presidential legal team creep into a document that was supposed to be the official document of the Court of Appeal of Nigeria? He further said, we need to restate that the TINUBU presidential legal team on the top left-hand corner of all the 798 pages is neither a monochrome nor a metadata. It is actually a header, meaning that except for a valid explanation, the TINUBU presidential legal team is the originator of the document. For the purposes of clarity, a header is a text that is placed at the top of a page, while a footer is placed at the bottom of a page. Typically, these areas are used for a certain information, such as the name of the document, the chapter heading, page numbers, creation date, and the likes. On the other hand, watermarks is a faint design made in some paper during manufacture that is visible when held against the light and typically identifies the marker of the document. The PEPC must, on its honor, if indeed it still has any, clarify why the court chose to put the header of the TINUBU legal team on a CTC copy of its judgment document, while the only emblem that should have been on the document is the stamp of the Court of Appeal of Nigeria. Again, the PEPC must explain why it came to the discretionary decision of having the respondents have a custody of the judgment earlier in the day on Friday, while only making same available to the petitioners later in the day, and only after the lead counsel to ATIKU and PDP had written a second letter. The first was on Thursday to the court demanding for the copies of the judgment. Moreover, we have it on good authority that when the PEPC was informed that the CTC copies of the judgment given to the respondents were already circulating in the public domain with the header of the TINUBU presidential legal team on it, a further delay was necessitated by the need for it to undertake a laundry of the documents by removing the TINUBU presidential legal team header before handing over same to the lawyers of ATIKU. Whereas the legal team of the PDP and ATIKU have statutory 14 days to prepare its appeal to the Supreme Court, the PEPC had erased 2 days out of that 14 days, no thanks to the PEPC, whose chairman, Justice Samani, had promised to make available the certified true copy of the judgment to ATIKU a day after his judgment was rendered, which ought to have been on Thursday. Nigerians and the world are earnestly waiting for answers to these posers as the legal challenge shifts to the Supreme Court. Otherwise, it will validate suspicion that there were external factors involved in the formulation of the judgment and bring the entire judiciary of Nigeria into disrepute. Make no mistakes about it. The legal challenge to the electoral banditry of February 25th, which has now shifted to the Apex Court, is not about ATIKU. It is indeed our last-ditch effort to salvage our country and deepen our democracy against the background of the dissemination of nearly all of the institutions of state, including the Independent National Electoral Commission, which dragged us into this quagmire. Our intent is to ensure that the judiciary, the last hope of the common man, does not go to the dogs.
Now, normally, you can want imagine say this accusation fit not hold water, but an accusation that was made and Tinubu team get to respond is a serious one, because Tinubu's team has responded to it. They said when the certified true copies was given to them, say na them themselves now put their watermark on top before they call scanner send give their fans. But how true is that? If somebody give me later, why will I not go and put my company logo on top of later one another person give me? Because that person company logo now suppose the PDP team say is either na Tinubu presidential team na write that judgment where they give the tribunal or that they favour Tinubu presidential team. Now they say in fact na mistake na the tribunal do wey take carry that copy give them. Say na when they don hala na tribunal come go edit am comot before they come give PDP and Labour Party. Now they are saying that they gave it to APC in the afternoon, but before they give PDP and Labour Party in the evening, which means that period that they use that they comot the watermark. Now this is not my news, this is the news as it is in the newspaper, so I'm explaining what is causing the fight, because some idiots now go come my DM, come they threaten me, say one person go arrest me, one person go do this. Not be me give this news, not that I go check the Vanguard, the Punch, because if all the newspaper today, since yesterday Twitter they pause. This is what is causing the quarrel on ground. And then the PDP they also they complain, say when they read the judgement, say the judges they read the judgement like say that they quarrel with PDP and Labour Party, and I noticed that. If you notice when they were reading the judgement, it gets some utterances where the judges they use. I call they say how. For example, when they were complaining about Labour Party saying they rigged their election, they said, you are saying they rigged your election. You did not bring proof that they rigged your election. You did not bring date and time. Is it we that are going to look for proof for you, or you think we are going to pass to social media pressure? I got the one that say, why are judges talking like this? Does it look professional? But I've never had a case in court before, so I don't know whether that's so that they talk normally when they deliver judgment, but it is well. This is what is causing the quarrel, as I said.